Yeah, and I think it's a good thing to talk about because a lot of times folks would look at the news and they would say, hey, the stock is down 45%. It must be a bargain or a good buying opportunity. I believe we talked about Hawaiian Electric about a week ago or therefore about some of the situations associated with that and potentially continuation of that stock to the downside. That might be the situation here for Napco Technologies as well. This is a company that provides security technology equipment, effectively things like access control, intrusion, and of course security systems for both commercial, industrial, and residential, but also the government or public sector portion of our economy. But the stock is down a lot, about 45% right now, and it just continues to drift lower based upon the news of restatement of accounting issues that the company discovered, particularly in its cost of products that they're going to have to restate and revise over the last 3 quarters. But I think the other thing that's really maybe not necessarily top line news is the fact that the company, which did report that there wasn't a material adverse impact on revenues for the restatements of the last 3 quarters, is actually guiding a little bit lower when it comes down to sales for the upcoming quarter. And if you look at the numbers, the estimates were about 48 million for sales. They actually revised that down to about 45 million. So I think that's another reason why the stock is sort of moving aggressively to the downside. Anytime there's accounting irregularities or questions about accounting that has to be restated or revised, based on my experience, it's a situation where you sell first and ask questions later. Right now, that's the case for Napco Technologies.
It seems analysts, George, echo that sentiment where it's basically, I mean, if you look at William Blair, they say, downgrade to market perform. It's going to take several quarters for the company to regain investor confidence. You look at Needham. They say the stock, and this is in quotes, likely to be in the penalty box for some time. Say it's less about the actual company's fundamentals or structural change in the business, but rather just a destocking of, getting out of this stock because of the question for confidence at this point. I mean, we're told about these fundamentals a minimum of 4 times a year. If you don't get them right, investors are going to go somewhere else. It seems that's the story within the story today, George.
That is the story. Look, we talked about worse stocks in worse situations, companies that ended up going bankrupt eventually. I don't think that's the case here for this company, but I do agree with the analysts' estimates, or, if you will, their view of the stock. One of the things that you could do in this case is, look, eventually the stock will recover, assuming, again, it doesn't have any additional accounting irregularities, because I did notice the company is profitable. It just happens to be that there's an adjustment on profit growth, plus a margin of safety that's being placed on the stock because of this material restatement over the past 3 quarters. So I think at the end of the day, there's nothing here from an investment standpoint, at least in the short term, because there's going to be a lot of uneasiness to add new investments in this name, at least until the company's proven itself to be resolved and, of course, dealt with these issues over the next 2 to 3 quarters. So one of the things you can do is simply put, try not to catch the bottom in this. Obviously, you can if you do it right, but you can also see this continue to drift lower and have sort of what I call a melting ice cube effect. So you could basically place an alert around today's high. I believe it's around 23.80, and essentially just wait on it, because this stock price might breach that level in the next couple of quarters where things turn more favorably for the company. But until then, you just have to do what the market is doing. Right now, everyone's selling for the most part because effectively there's uncertainty around why this material restatement is happening. I think they're explaining that they are doing it, but I haven't actually seen reasons why. And I think until they denote that or provide some discovery for the analysts, we're going to see the stock remain in the penalty box for quite some time.
Yeah.